Charm Rascallion, 8 on 18. Ace. A betting extravaganza, a symphony of style coming your way on Saturday the 31st of January. We cannot wait for the World Sports Betting Cape Town Med. And here is the card call. We're just 6 days out and we're here to make extra money to tickle up World Sports Betting to potentially get some good prices on a few horses. On all horses that run in the World Sports Betting Cape Town Med. We're really looking forward to the day next Saturday. We trust that you'll come and join us. Tickets are still available, so be a part of the Symphony of Style here from Hollywood Bets Kenilworth, and we're really looking forward to another edition of one of South Africa's institutional race days on the calendar. It's been a wonderful summer thus far, and now we are really going to hit the big time with the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. You would know by now who the panel is. We've got Stephen Curran, Pierre Stradham, and Justin Snaith here to join us and tell us about the runners, their fancies, and also what boost you can get from World Sports Betting. But first things first, let me introduce one by one. Stephen, thank you so much for your time. Just quickly, as far as World Sports Betting is concerned, thank you so much for your sponsorship of this great race and all the other big races around the country. I mean, I know that you'd really sail that ship when it comes to sponsorship in World Sports Betting and South African racing. And again, the orange colour spreads wide around the country, doesn't it? With the grooms up in the Haarvelden and Aberga, obviously KZN, Guineas, also sponsored by World Sports Betting, Sledgehammer. This is non-stop, and thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Alan. Thanks to the guys to be on the panel with us. It's an absolute privilege to have Justin and Pierre with us to give us their insights. And yeah, it's important for us to put our name behind racing. We're very committed to racing. We've been committed to racing for years. We're also very committed to the grooms and the progress of the grooms. So yeah, it's good.
And I believe that World Sports Betting are doing a little bit extra for the grooms this Saturday. Stand by for more information about that. Pierre Stradham, World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. As you walk out here, you'll see all the colours of Lomaro Kings Plate and World Sports Betting Mets and all the famous winners. There are a few times that you've stolen success here, Angus being one name that comes to mind, a number of others as well. What type of horse do you need to win Cape Town's biggest race?
Well, ideally you would like a horse that can sort of have some speed early on, and if you could be in a box seat, I mean, that would be perfect. But obviously it depends on the pace and wind, and all those factors can help horses come from the back.
And Justin, from your side, I remember 2016 was it, when you swept just about everything. A lot of very well-versed racing people think that you could challenge that number. How do you feel going into the 2026 World Sports Betting Cape Town Met with the string that you've got?
Yeah, look, I'm very blessed at the moment. I've got an incredible string, probably one of the most powerful strings we've ever had. Well, definitely the most powerful string we've had if you touch all the bases. Yes, 2016, it brings back a lot of memories, and this year it's going to be very interesting with the pace, but I don't think you need to worry about that pair. Okavango is there for a reason.
Do you think you got a pair of aces this year, a pair of kings, king ace? What type of hand do you think you got this year?
I tell you what, if I couldn't ask for better, to be honest. It really is. I do feel there's obviously one horse that we need to beat, but I really think we've got almost like a straight flush in many ways, and I've certainly coming into the race confidently and must treat it accordingly, but also look for the spooks.
All right, so we're looking forward to everything. We'll pick Justin's brain on his runners in the grade ones when the boosts become available. But don't forget that World Sports Betting are also offering a 20% deposit match up to Met Day. So up to World Sports Betting Cape Town Met Day on Saturday, 20% deposit bonus. That's on all deposits up to 200,000 Rand. And also, go and open an account if you haven't opened an account. But for those existing members that are also out there, predict the top 6 in the correct order and win a share of R1 million. Those are 2 of many different avenues that World Sports Betting are exploring this coming Saturday. Right, let's get straight into the card call. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to flip the betting boards upside down. We're going to go from the biggest outsider down to the favorite. We're going to save those fancied horses for last and teach you, and rather treat you, for some of those prices as the show wears on. First things first, Stephen Curran, the biggest outsider as it stands is number 7, Legal Counsel. How are they betting, and what are World Sports Betting doing for us?
So at the moment we're betting 50 to 1 Legal Counsel. The first boost is 70 to 1, and the second boost is 66 to 1.
Okay, so you've got 3 minutes, 2 minutes 57 seconds to take 70 to 1 on a 50 to 1 shot. Justin, you're on a legal counsel. Does he have the tools to win a weight for age grade 1?
Look, I think he's going to be perfectly placed in the race. He's going to be in a position where the race is actually going to work out for him. He's a very interesting horse in that we're trying the 2,000 meters, so that punters must be wary of. We are trying 2,000 meters. At weight for age terms, you'd think that it would be quite tough for him. In the Lamar King's Plate, it was a good effort, but there's a lot of ifs and buts, and that's why he is the price he is. But very, very tough horse, and he'll also be up on the pace and, probably following Okavango.
Struck, if you go upstairs and have a look at that corridor, you see names like Buntabalo, Marshall Eagle, potentially horses that weren't expected to win. Do you think he's of a similar ilk, or do you think he's just probably that one step behind?
I think he's at one step behind. This is now more of a set weight, so your best horse, best handicapped horse should come through, and he's still out of the weights at this stage.
Justin, when did the Met actually become an avenue for legal counsel? Because if I actually think of the horse, Marla, a very, very good Marla, like you said, Lamar King's Plate effort was out the top draw. Was this always a plan, or did it kind of organically grow over the last couple of months?
No, not really. But his run in the King's Plate was good. He wasn't beaten far. He hit the front a bit soon. It wasn't a bad effort. There weren't much options for him on the day. It was either this or a 7 furlong. So we've decided to take our chances. And there's 5 million reasons why to run him, to be honest. But he is a horse that will bring probably back into distance, and he will be racing under new ownership. So that's quite exciting, and probably head up to Durban after this race, and maybe a stint at one of the big races in Joburg.
Stephen, is this the biggest stretch on offer from 50 to 1 to 70 to 1? Or World Sports Betting? I mean, I know we're going to be generous all night, but is this a big carrot dangling on a horse at a big price?
It is a big carrot dangling at a big price. I mean, we've gone 20 points more than what we're offering. So.
And just explain that second boost. We've got 43 seconds left at 70 to 1. The second boost you'll be offering, for those that missed this now?
Okay, so after the 3 minutes, or if not just slightly longer, we're going to adjust the price to 66 to 1. So you're still getting a big boost, but obviously it's a smaller boost than the first.
Okay, so take advantage of the next 25 seconds for those legal counsel fans out there. I know some of the owners, Zach Block, will be climbing in to that 70 to 1. And win, lose or draw, he'll be having a wonderful Saturday here at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth for the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. So that's number 7 on the card, Legal Counsel. Let's now go on to the second biggest outsider in the race, and this is Native Ruler. Horse that I've always believed has got to win a big one somewhere, somehow. Justin Snaith also trains. JP van der Merwe takes a ride. 40 to 1 as it stands. Stephen, what are you doing for us?
So the first boost is 60 to 1 for 3 minutes, and thereafter we revert to 55 to 1.
Okay, so 60 to 1 for the next 2 minutes, 55 seconds. Take advantage of that about Native Ruler. Strike, I'm going to kick off with you. What do you make of his chances? If you think of his Hollywood Bets Durban July run, it wasn't bad. Nothing wrong with this horse.
Not bad, but you can see on most of his runs, he's just below. That's probably why you're getting 60 to 1. He has to improve at least 4 or 5 lengths to be able to win it.
Justin, what can you say about that run in the Premiers?
Very disappointing, but I do think he was too handy. He was right up behind Okavango. It's not the way he likes to race. He didn't enjoy it. It was a very disappointing run, to be honest. We thought he was possibly the horse to beat, and he just didn't run any sort of a race to the level we think he's at. I do think that if he runs far enough back here, he'll set himself up for a big run in the Hollywood Bets Durban July of a lowish sort of middle type of weight. He's that sort of horse. He could go very close. I think the big picture for him is that. Here at Weight for Age, it is tough, but I tell you what, he's working. I mean, if this was a handicap, I think he'd probably be just about one of the horses they have to beat here, because his work at home has just been phenomenal. It's way better than that run in the Premiers, but at Weight for Age, very tough. That's why these races are a little bit smaller. We just watched Hong Kong. If you're complaining about the Cape being a small field, then turn your TV on and watch the Hong Kong Group 1s, where there were 8 runners, I think, and 10 runners. At Weight for Age terms, it's just very hard for horses to fill those fields. because you're up against it.
Cox Plate, 8 runners, thrilling finish. We've seen plenty QE2 Cups and various other grade ones in the UK with small fields. Quality over quantity, isn't it?
Absolutely. What do we want?
Well, and weight for age level anyway.
What do we want 15, 18 horses in this race for? There aren't those horses in South Africa. You tell me one horse in South Africa that should be in this race that isn't there. Tell me one.
And let's also be fair. This summer, Hollywood Bets Cape Guineas Day and also Lommeraw Kings Plate Day, creme de la creme. No one was missing from those days. And by virtue of horses potentially not sort of living up to the expectations and not getting into the hunt in those races, they've fallen away and they're going to come back another day.
It's a tough. 2,000 meters is tough. It's not for, you know, a miler can win the Met, make no mistake. But we'll make it a little bit tough for those milers.
Stephen, quickly, Native Ruler. If you got to the last 100 and his name was mentioned being in the shake-up, would you be surprised?
No, I wouldn't. I like that last run. I mean, he's got it all to do because there is this class in the race. But I wouldn't be shocked to see him in the first 4.
No, me neither. Right, let's go on to the next one. This is Tony Peters' runner, the Equator, who hangs around in Cape Town. Rene Picheluk takes a ride on this extremely well-bred son of Galileo. He's already had the 1 spin around in the Cape. He's trading 25 to 1 at the moment. World Sports Betting for the next 3 minutes. Stephen, what do they say?
35 to 1. Good price. Second boost, 33 to 1.
South of Joburg getting involved there, Steve.
Must
Extra
be.
10 points.
Must be. I've sent the message out for them to get on. So let's see what comes back.
What do you think of him? Where does he stand?
I think I believe he's had his chances. I think he's had 4 runs in South Africa. I liked the run when Richard rode him. The run here, wasn't too bad in the Cape. He's now seen the left-handed turn. So let's see. You know, let's. As a raider, he must have a chance, but it's going to be hard.
He's always a bit of an unknown, this horse, Pierre. What is your impressions of him? Because either we haven't seen the best of him, or we're seeing what he is, and that's just off them.
Yeah, he's still below the top or the best horses in the country, and that's, I can't give you much confidence, but I agree with Stephen that first time left and bend last time, so there could be a little bit of scope for improvement. But I still think it needs to improve a couple of lengths.
Justin, you haven't had this trouble going from the Haarveld to Cape Town, but you may have had this trouble going from Cape Town to Durban or even Johannesburg. First run, they tend to run well. Second one, they can run flat. Is that a fallacy, or is that something that people have got to be mindful of?
Yeah, no, look, I don't believe in any of it. It's just a matter of the individual, the horse. Every horse will be different. Every situation is different. I don't believe in any of it. It's just a matter of where you are with a horse and the preparation that you're having. Is it going your way? Isn't it going your way? So for me, it's the least of our worries, to be honest.
Lovely looking horse, though. Has he got it to compete at this high level?
Look, they don't seem to travel well outside of Turffontein. This horse, I think the pace may help him. The pace that we're going to set may help this horse a little bit. It looks like every race is too short for him. This will be the hardest sort of run race for him, and you might get a better run out of him. But I do think the pace of the race is going to work into his favor.
Okay, so that is the Equator. 35 to 1 currently for the next 40 seconds. And if you do miss out on the next 40 seconds, we've got connectivity issues. Just remind us, the second boost, Steve?
33 to 1.
33 to 1. So certainly being generous there into that second boost about the Equator. Another 27 seconds to go on that inflated big price. You won't get any better over the next 6 days. Let's move on to the next runner. It's number 1 on the card, Cosmic Speed. Sean Terry, no stranger to winning this race. He won it with Alistair in 2005. Gavin Larena, fresh off riding 1 stripe from Gulfstream to Hollywood Bets Kenilworth. For Gavin, he takes a ride here on the son of Quarari. He, of course, did win the Wilkebos Drift HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes, so he is a Grade 1 winner at weight for age level, but that was over 1,600 meters. How will he go stretching to 2,000? Steve, 22 to 1 at the moment. What have we got for the next 3 minutes?
So the next 3 minutes, we've got 35 to 1, the same as the Equator. Second boost, 33 to 1.
Okay, so 35 to 1 now for the next 2 and a bit minutes. Is this a lurker, Justin? Will he stay? What do you make of him? Because his run of the Lommeraw Kings Plate again wasn't all that. If you watch closely, he was kind of staying on. But I think the way the race was run, everyone from off the pace was looking like they were staying on.
Yeah, look, I respect Sean. probably more than the horse a little bit in a way. You know, I respect Sean in a Group 1 like this. You'd never be surprised to see him pop up. You know, he likes to do that down here in the Cape. But as I said, the pace is going to be on, and anything that's lacking in stamina will be found wanting here. I promise you, the pace is going to be on.
Well, there's a biggest promise that you'll get out of this card call. Pierre, Cosmic Speed, what do you make of him?
Yeah, the concern has to be the distance, but he's run against some of the best horses and he's finished right there. Last time he had a bad draw, and obviously it looked like he flew the gates. And he was handy and he was in a position quite early, but he was travelling hard. I think draw 1 is going to help him a lot. He's got 8 and 18 on his outside. I think 8 and 18 will probably be a bit more positive. He'll have the perfect lead. And if he sees out the 2000, has 8 and 18 to follow right until the end, could be right there. Could be a little bit of a lurker.
Where does he stand? We've got the Terry Magic. When you think of all the big day trainers, Snaith, De Kock, Terry, Kannemeyer, those are probably the guys when you get to those marquee race days that you really, really want to be on the right side of. Should we leave him out? Should we consider him, Steve?
I'm going to leave him out because I think there are better horses in the race. But like Justin said, I don't discount Sean Terry.
And I think Sean's spending most of the week here as well. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing how number 1 Cosmic Speed goes out of draw number 1. Got Gavin Larena on board. He'll certainly have his tail up and his bank account up after what happened last night. So that's number 1 Cosmic Speed. You've got another minute to get involved at 35 to 1, courtesy of World Sports Betting. Open up those accounts. If you are an account holder, well, get clicking away. Take advantage of these inflated prices through the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met card call. 35 to 1 for another 45 seconds about number 1 on the card, Cosmic Speed. So that is fourth from bottom of the boards. Let's now take the next step up to number 5, Garrick's. The enigmatic Garrick's, the son of Vercingetorix for Peter and Albert Steyn. Keegan de Mello takes the ride. I know that one of the owners will certainly be locked in and taking advantage of this inflated price. Steve, I know that he's a big loyal patron of World Sports Betting. What are you giving him here for Garrick's?
So we're going to lay 30 to 1 the first boost and 25 to 1 the second boost.
Okay, so 30 to 1 for the next just under 3 minutes about Garrick's. Pierre, I'm going to kick off with you about Garrick's. Where does he stand in the whole pecking order?
He looks like he's got the potential every now and again to take on the big guns. But he's like that 2-3 lengths just off them. Maybe having the run of the race, could see him in the finish. But I doubt if he can beat, in my opinion, the top 3 horses.
Justin, then on to you. You would have seen this horse quite closely over the last year or so as he was emerging and making a name for himself. Did he ever strike you as a World Sports Betting Cape Town Met winner, or more of a place getter with other races potentially in mind? Where does he stand?
It's so hard to read this horse. I mean, the 2 runs back was one of the best runs of any horse going into this race. I mean, he came from last with Schmanger on. It was incredible. Never got a run and still almost won the race. Then his next run was bad, really bad. It's so disappointing. But maybe there are reasons for that. If they fix those reasons, I think there's a jockey change. Maybe then yes, because that one run was just so good. If he just has that run again, obviously you can put him in. But there's also the question that he doesn't get 2,000 meters, and this is not that race to come and try.
He could be perfect for the July, like you said, well handicapped.
Yes,
yeah.
But if he runs close here, that's gone.
That's gone. Okay.
Did Peter and Albert leave Malkies? I mean, is Durban a consideration for Peter and Albert?
Absolutely.
Do they get further out of Melkbosstrand?
Reluctantly, but don't they trainers not to underestimate. Probably the most underrated trainer in the country. Honestly, got to be, as a horseman and anything and what he does with the horses he has. Pound for pound, probably the top.
Eh?
Absolutely. I mean, he sits there fiddling with the bridle for 10 minutes. Imagine if I did that for my 44 runners. I don't have that time. So he's very good like that, him and his son.
Stephen, Garrick's? Yeah,
When I was very young, I saw him fixing horses, the blankets. He folded them up like that. There was one out at the bottom. He took them all and he started again. He's like a perfectionist.
Steve, can they be set up for a big run here?
You know, this was 2 runs ago behind Dave the King.
Actually, that's a good point. Where's he been in the market throughout? Because after the Ridgemont Greenpoint Stakes, he was on the
shortened.
radar. And then after the Lommar Kings Plate, we've forgotten about him again.
Well, he shortened after that run. And obviously after the next run, after the King's Plate run, he started drifting. But that second to Dave the King, I was touting him as a possible winner of the Met. And I was just so shocked when I saw where he ran. I couldn't believe it. So, you know, like Justin says, if you're going to experiment over 2,000, I don't think that this is the right place to do it.
All right, let's go on to the next one. It's Okavango, number 11 on the card. Callan Murray takes it right. He was never, ever in doubt last time out. And Callan, one of the more accomplished jockeys around, especially from the front. He's trading at 18-1 at the moment, Stephen. Okavango to steal at what price?
25-1.
25-1 about Okavango for the next 3 minutes. Justin, Lommar Kings Plate Day, that was probably a career best in that he never looked in doubt, never looked like losing, start to finish, looked like the refined animal that you've always promised he'd turn out to be. Has he kicked on from there?
I mean, that's that horse. That's him. That's how good he is. I'm not gonna, my brother sometimes does good and sometimes does bad. He pushed me with this horse in the Durban season the whole time. Got to get this horse into the July, got to qualify. We went to Scottsville. We went all over the place. It was probably one of the worst preps. I just thought we were doing too much. Pierre will know the family. It's a family that takes time. They're really talented. His mother was a superstar. He's a very interesting horse. He's going to go to the front, and he likes to roll a bit. And if he keeps rolling, I don't think too many are going to catch him. He might be caught by one or two, or if he isn't lucky. But if he's lucky, he's certainly a horse you've got to watch out for.
You'll remember the family. I'll come to Striker in just a moment about the family and also potentially conditions about a horse that's touted to go off to the front. But Okavango, can you have him?
It's going to be hard from that draw, especially if he's going out to make the pace. It's not going to be easy. If there's a big pace, a quick pace, I think they will run on. And if he's there to do a job, it's going to be hard for him.
Jerry is winning the Premiers last time out under Ocean Murphy. Striker, you'll remember Sabina Park, the mother, owned by Michael de Brolio. You rode Master Sabina in the Betway Summer Cup in one of his 2 wins. I just want to ask you, I've had a look at it, and this is a long-term weather forecast, so it is subject to change. It's not forecast to be blazing hot, and it's not forecast to be blistering wind. For a horse that's sort of promised to go off to the front, could he steal it? Is that set up, those conditions set up right for a horse that's going to go to the front if he is going to steal it?
Well, it sounds to me like he's going to go out there to make sure there's a decent pace. If he has easy doing it himself, relaxed, there could be a chance of him stealing it. I still feel he's 2 or 3 lengths below the top horses. But having an easy lead, who's going to sit second or third? It looks like no one's going to put pressure on him. So he could get away with it. It could be a bit of a...
If you're running Okavango, no one's putting... You got the widest draw. You know what you're going to do. You're obviously going to go up to the...
I wouldn't put a Pierre on. You'd go too slow.
You'd go rogue. You'd try to see it for himself.
I wouldn't write instructions.
You probably wouldn't on him.
Bring him back.
I'll be happy.
But Callan, the right man, since coming back from Australia, from the front, he's always been deadly. He's even more deadly now, Strikes.
That's why he's chosen.
Yeah, he's good, but you know what? He's a team player. And I think Justin will probably say to him, look here, you make sure it's a decent play. If it's good enough, and it wins, good luck. But he's got to make sure that there's a fair gallop.
In that case, if he stole it, from See It Again and from 8 on 18, or obviously also Nick Johnson owned horses, would you be more than happy collecting the trophy for Okavango?
Alistair, for any one of my horses in this race I collect, we are that stable that we go out to win no matter what. There's no funny business, anything like that. This horse likes to race like that. That's his chance. He stays all day. He'll go 2,400. His only chance. There's nothing worse than a front runner that likes to go to the front and has stamina, goes to the front and the jock goes slow.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Makes no sense whatsoever. So that's not what he wants to do. He wants to be left alone. We galloped him here with 8 and 18 in Great Plains, and that's where we figured out this tactic with him. He went to the front in the gallop that never got close to him. So we said, okay, guys, we're going to do this next time. And that's what we did. And, I mean, they never got close to him. So just a deadly horse, a horse for punters to follow as well. I think he's just one of those horses, when he gets into a race at weight for age terms, you know, in a race where he's got more, you know, not running against 8 and 18 at level weights. Or let's say maybe he's in the... Absolutely, absolutely. He wasn't ready for it last year. Good chance this year. Or he'll go for the 2000 in Johannesburg. He's one for punters to follow.
But you have to say kudos to you for saying, I'm going to have a horse that will make sure there's a decent pace. Everyone else, the opposition, will know what's going on. And the best horse will win.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. Whenever we do it, we say, there's no funny stuff here. That's the plan. He's the horse that will go up forward, and it is what it is. Yeah.
Well, here's a World Sportsman in Cape Town Met horse through and through. He's a weight for age winner as well, already down in Durban at Hollywood Bets Gravel when he won the Hong Kong Jockey Club Champions Cup. This is number 4, Gladatorian. Sean Veal takes a ride for Stuart Ferry. And go watch the Lomoral Kings Play, which we will have on a rerun a little bit later on closely, and go watch the ground that he made. Stephen, what have we got about number 4, Gladatorian?
20 to 1 at the first 3 minutes, and after that 16 to 1.
20 to 1 you got for 3 minutes about the uber talented son of Vercingetorix. He's an 11-time winner and he's earned 3 million rand. Stephen, this was always his goal. The World Sportsman in Cape Town Met, Stuart Ferry, straight after the Durban season. That's what we're doing. How impressed have you been? He stepped up from his first to his second, didn't he?
He did, and he's got to be a runner. Albeit he's going to find it hard. But I think this was always his mission. And I think he can run in the top 4.
I also think he can run into the top 4. Pierre, where does he stand in your pecking order?
I'm not that convinced about him. I think with the pace being on, 2000, will it suit Justin's other horses better, or him? I don't think it'll suit him as much as Justin's other 2 horses. The times that he has beaten See It Again was over 1400 Gravel. See It Again, definitely, that's too short for him. So I can't see him beating those top horses. Even though he's got some form there to show that he can run in the money, I don't think he's good enough to beat the other horses when they are at the top.
Justin, he's already got a big win though on his CV. If you got one, why can't you get another?
And that was over 1800 at weight for age terms. He beat the July winner. So, yes, I like this horse, always have. I love it when Stuart Ferry wins with this horse. His form in Cape Town just hasn't been as good as it was in Durban. And I think you need to come into this race with very, very good form. If he'd had one sort of okay run and then a better run, great. Like the Real Prince ran in the Garden Province, he got rolled and everyone said, well, that's him gone. And in the King's Plate, they sort of forgot about him in a way, and he popped up. So the one run brought him on, which is what 8 and 18 is pretty much doing into the Met. But this horse has had 1 or 2 that have been a little bit below par. Yeah.
You got another 50 seconds with Gladatorian. Just quickly, he galloped here, the unofficial gallops on Thursday. You only galloped 1 horse, and that was 8 on 18, which we'll get to in a moment. The thinking there of why Stuart may have galloped him, why you didn't gallop all, why you galloped 1, could you perhaps put your finger on why Gladatorian would have turned up here?
That's like asking Mercedes to say something about Ferrari. I'd rather keep it to myself, to be honest. That's the race is won and lost on the 10 days, Thursday before the following Saturday. Yeah, there's reasons.
Not like Justin to sit on the fence and not have an opinion, not share it anyway. There we go, Gladatorian. You've got about 10 seconds in which to get your 20 to 1 on World Sports Betting about the son of Vercingetorix. Now let's move on to Sail the Sea. Number 3 on the card, Muziani on board, also Justin Snaith's runner. He won the World Sports Betting KZN Guineas in May, and he's been banging at the doors so far this summer. 6 to 1 shot at the moment, Stephen. What are you pushing him out to?
Unbelievable price of 9 to 1. I think this is the dark horse in the race. And the second boost, 8 to 1.
Okay, so 9 to 1 you got for just under 3 minutes from now. Justin, you gave us a promo about 3 months ago of horses to follow, and you nominated this horse as one of your interesting runners for the summer. How happy have you been with his prep going into this race? He's probably had the right type of prep of just sneaking under the radar.
Best prep of the race. in my opinion. Remember, he's come from a 8-month layoff after injury that he got in the Guineas, the Natal Guineas. So every run is sort of, this will be his 3rd run, primed. Even going into the Lamar King's Plate, I was like, Muzi, this is the big runner of the race. I think he's going to just about win, just about my best chance in the race. And he was like, yes, but he feels like a 2,000-meter horse now. And I'm like, what? So he says, no, this horse needs 2,000 meters. You're going to see the best of him. So if that's his run in the Lamar King's Plate, imagine what's coming on World Sports Betting Met. Flying at home, going to be in the fight. 9-1 is a great grab it at that price. I think whatever beats him will probably win.
The extension of 9-1, Stephen's interesting because you can now have a book of about 4 runners going into next Saturday at that type of price.
Absolutely.
In the race for you?
Huge runner. I've narrowed it down to 2, and he's one of them.
Okay, well, don't give the other one away yet.
Absolutely not.
We'll give that away in just a few minutes. Pierre?
Yeah, definitely. He's got to be one of the fancied horses in the race. He's been running against the best, and he's finished right there with them. He's a 4-year-old, so he's probably got most scope for improvement than the other horses. I also think 9-1. If you don't like one of Justin's other horses and looking for real value, this could be the horse.
Is he the type of horse that you would like to ride in the race? I know that obviously you got allegiance to see it again on the past, but if you ended up on sale this season, how confident would you be? Just knowing the way that he runs, the way Muzi gets a tune out of him.
Yeah, I'd love to ride this type of horse in this race because I think he could have the perfect position. The last race we saw all the horses come from the back and run on. He was the handiest of the lot that stayed on. So I'm not saying Muzi rode a bad race. He still gave a lot of start to the leaders, but I'm saying he was the handiest of the horses that stayed on. So I think good draw, should have a nice position. He's a huge runner.
And Muzi loves a Grade 1, doesn't he?
He loves it.
And I truly think that this is, and I truly think that he's still got a lot in the tank here.
Yeah, so do I.
Because if you look at the run, it wasn't the hardest run. You know, Muzi, but he left a little bit in the tank.
And I think overall he's really untapped. Everyone else, a lot of these other horses, they've got a lot to do, or in that, when I say in that place, they're in the right place. They've got inflated merit ratings. They've won all the big races that they've needed to. But I think he's that one horse that's probably got that extra level to come of those big names out there. Number 6, the Real Prince, he's 3rd favourite in the World Sportsman in Cape Town Met. Can he complete a memorable treble? Hollywood Bets, Durban, July, Lommeraw, Kings Plate, World Sportsman in Cape Town Met. We shall see. He's 7-2 right now. Stephen, what is he for the next 3 minutes?
We're betting 9-2 for the next 3 minutes, and thereafter 4-1.
You're wary. You're wary. You're giving 3 points extension on sale this season. Obviously, Big Outsiders 20 points extension. This, you're wary.
Well, if you look at the form, I mean, he's done it all, and he deserves to be like one of the favourites in the race. He's got to be a big runner, Al.
Yeah. He won Hollywood Bets Durban July handicap level. He obviously won the Lommeraw Kings Plate over, dare I say, his best trip at weight for age level. Now it's weight for age and it's 2,000. Can he do it?
I still think he can do it. He's beaten everything. If you look at the form lines, they all finished behind him. So the form is there. The only difference could be, will he make the improvement over the 2,000 compared to, say, for instance, here again in 8 and 18? That's where you've got to draw the line. Well, I mean, he's got the form. He's got the winning form. They're all finishing right on top of one another, and he's beaten them. But who's going to make more improvement over the 2,000? But huge runner.
I bumped into Craig Zaki at the races just a few days ago, and he's of the opinion that this horse has made improvement at home out of the Lommeraw Kings Plate. Justin, you talk about the pace is going to be on. If there's one horse not from your barn who was going to enjoy the pace being on, it's this guy.
Who, the Real Prince?
Yes.
I don't know. I think the July was run at a slower race you couldn't get. 8 and 18 gave him 1.5 kilos. I think it was 1 kilo, 1.5 kilos as a 3-year-old. So if 8 and 18 has made the improvement we all hope he would into his 4-year-old career, it will be game on. A hard 2000 this horse, well, we'll see. From what I heard, Dean was telling a few people, oh no, he's left something in the tank for this race, and so I'm sure he has. But it'll be tough, this race. We need a revenge. We want to have a rematch here.
A fabulous horse, isn't he?
Very much so. And I tell you what, Craig rides this horse incredibly well. In the big races that he's won, he just pulled it out there, like literally they go over across the line and there's, poof, beats us on the line, you know. So I'm sure he'll probably do it again. You come and get us on the line, but I wish him the best of luck.
Is this the horse not from your yard that you're most wary of?
It would have to be, for sure. It would have to be. But the only thing I do like is I know the form that we're taking on. There's just 1 or 2 other horses in this race that run good races, bad races, and they're just hard to. But could they, on their best ever day, beat these horses? Probably not. Can Garrick's on his best day beat See It Again, Wait for Age over 2000? A horse that's won the Daily News, the Derby. 8 and 18's won the Met, the Daily News, the Derby. And Wait for It. That's what the type horse I want to see win the Met, is a horse that's done that. And to be honest, my other horse, Sail the Sea, was never that far back in all those races. He won the Natal Guineas. He ran second, I think, in the Derby here. He ran second in the. He missed the. Then he won the Guineas and he missed the Daily News. But as a young horse, he was right there. So I'm hoping that that translates into a big Met for these horses.
Let's now go on to last year's winner, the reigning Equus Horse of the Year. He's not favourite for the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. Number 2 on the card, 8 and 18. History tells you draw 2. The World Sports Betting Cape Town Met is absolutely bang on. He's reunited with his best mate, Richard Furry, as well. Stephen, what have we got?
We're betting 9-2 for the next 3 minutes. I think that's a huge price.
So 33-10 out to 9-2. What you got about number 2, 8 on 18? Been there, done that. This fabulous son of Lancaster bomber, Justin. Prep hasn't been perfect, but he is, after all, if you take Equus Awards into consideration, which is the creme de la creme, the best horse in the country.
There's just nothing I could do. I mean, it's these things don't often happen to us, and sadly he got biliary, but it bounced back again. It was a nasty one, and some horses it can really damage them. So it looks like for the first time was the Thursday after the Lamar King's Plate, that he had come right and he was back to the old 8 and 18, which then meant a nice little gallop. He was only one of my runners that we galloped because we just felt that he's a, yes, needed to come, wake up. He's just such a beautifully mannered horse and needed a bit of speed. So we did that, and I mean, he couldn't blow out a candle, never broke a sweat. So doing well at home this week is obviously important in his well-being. And I'm hoping that Richard rides him this week and comes back and has a little bit of confidence about him. But if he arrives, Wait for Age, best horse in South Africa, and could easily, do back-to-back World Sports Betting Mets.
And that's also a good point that Justin makes. There are a number of horses. Pocket Power, the easiest one that springs to mind. But over the years, a lot of horses have won more than one Met. Rainbow Bridge, another case in point. And of course, those great battles between Comedy Dung and Jet Dark. Here is 8 on 18 when he won it last year, Pierre. He needed a little bit around him, but once he got into full flight, there was no stopping him. And again, even though when he doesn't win, he still runs that type of honest, solid race. You know you're going to get 100% from this guy.
Yeah, I tracked him actually last year, and Richard was actually quite on the hard ride quite early on. So he's the type of horse that does take time to build up, and so the pace being on is going to obviously be in his favour. But with Justin here, he's probably the best horse in the field. But his preparation or his little setback he's had, will he come out of it fine? We don't know. It's his second run from a break, so it's not an ideal prep. So ability-wise, winner. But little hiccups, now you have to doubt him.
Steve, with a good prep, would this be race over?
I think so. I mean, I mean, him and Richard are just, I mean, they're two peas in a pod. It's, I mean, Richard's ridden him 9 times, 5 wins, 3 seconds, a third. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. If it wasn't for the hiccup, it would be very hard to beat this horse.
Let's go on to the favourite. Here we are 2 years later. See It Again started red hot favourite in this race 2 years ago, and the race was won by Double Superlative. Now we've got Andrew Fortune back from retirement, taking over from his great mate Piers Stradham on See It Again. What price is he currently, and what price is he for the next 3 minutes? This is the favourite for the World Sports Betting Cape Town, mate, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen?
33 to 10.
5 to 2 to 33 to 10.
And the second boost 3 to 1.
Okay, so 3 to 1, you'll have a little bit longer if you do miss the boat. Pierre, dare I ask, does this horse have BMT? If you think of near misses and Mets, Julys, other big races, and don't get me wrong, he's been brilliant on his arrival for Justin. We'll get to Justin in a moment. Does he have the BMT, or have just the gods played against him sometimes?
He's had his little quirks. First, sometimes he wouldn't jump so well. And then secondly, when you come to a finish, he would tend to run in behind another horse, like he would try and get out of it. I think with Justin now taking over, I think the horse has changed for the better. I think he's had some bad preps in the past. My instructions last year wasn't good instructions. I felt I could have ridden him from a handier position, but I was told to give him a chance. So when he came from the back of the field, I had to ride him early on the straight just to maintain and keep going. I think small field, he's looking like he's on the up. I think he's 3.5 kilos better off with 8 and 18 this year. He's 8 and 18, obviously he's had a hiccup. He's got to be the horse to beat. And even if he doesn't jump so well, there's his little quirk. It's a small field, there's paces on, a lot will be in his favour. And we know Andrew Fortune's been riding like a demon, and I'm sure he wants to win a Met finally. So, yeah, the horse to beat.
Your great mate, how unplayable will Fortune be if he won the Met?
No, he'll be unplayable. And in the race, if you were on the fence and he came, you knew you had to pull back, because he would stick you over the fence, this chap.
His own son.
Justin, it's amazing. 2 months ago, this was turned up at your yard. You probably were under no pressure. You just had to get him into the starting stalls. That was the first tick in the box, and since then he's ticked every box but win. But I mean, even this run,
He was
so
very unlucky.
encouraging.
Grant came across him. Otherwise, he wins the race. He was a bit stiff. If you go back a little bit, Grant was on a one-time winner there, and we just got stuck behind him a little bit, and he just cost Andrew that one little chance. And very interesting horse. I actually watched the video in Durban when they were loading him, and I thought it wasn't done right. I thought they could have handled the situation better, I thought, when he was scratched in Natal. And then I had a phone call from Nick saying, look, they're battling to get this horse in the pens. Do you mind getting involved? You've got Milan in Cape Town. I don't want to fly Milan to Durban once a week. How do we do that? Rather take him. I spoke to Mace. I'd take him in Cape Town. Milan would start working with him and getting that right. But he's a very interesting horse, this. I actually rode him myself on the beach, and I think Pierre might agree. When you're on this horse, it's like, besides 8 and 18, he is the best weight for age horse around. You ride him, and he's just...
No, he's got a massive body
Yes.
he sits on. It's like you feel like he's driving a limousine or
Yes,
something.
yes, he's that horse.
Is he still dropping the jockeys? Because apparently in Durban he used to drop the jocks.
No, but by the time he came here, and Milan's worked with him a little bit, he's been really well behaved. He hasn't put a foot wrong, to be honest. And I ride him on the beach. It's strange, he's quiet. But like he'll be walking, he's looking at the seagull flying past. He's clever, he's very clever, clever.
I remember last year as well, he was sweating a lot before the race. So he wasn't...
He did do that, and it caught me by surprise.
Okay.
In the King's Plate.
Plate.
I was like, why is he, what's wrong? You know?
Yeah,
So
sweating
there
a
is
lot.
something for sure, but it's a very good horse, this. Very good horse. Well, this horse can run. So everything's going right. Yeah, certainly I'm surprised to see him favourite, to be honest. but it's nice to see. The horse deserves it. He's been through a lot. He arrived in my yard in great condition. I think they're lucky they didn't load, because he would have won the Summer Cup. Even with 60 kilos, he would have. That was never going to be an issue. But very interesting horses, and wow.
But his prep's been great, and
It's
too
all
short,
fallen into
so,
place.
yeah.
I mean, how lucky could we have got? And you're right, it's too short. You ride him, and he's a 2,000-meter horse. This is not a miler. He's only running that well in the miles. He's like Do It Again. For me, he's a chestnut version of Do It Again. And to be honest, might even have been better, to be honest.
You always describe Do It Again as the Roger Federer of racing. Right, so that is pretty much it when it comes to the World Sports Betting Cape Town. I'm not going to ask Justin for a 1, 2, 3, 4. That's unfair. He's got a lot of runners, and obviously, how do you do that when you've got 6 runners in the big race? So, Pierre, horse to beat, biggest danger from your side.
I say See It Again from Sail the Seas.
Stephen?
Exactly the same too. See It Again from Sail the Sea.
Okay, so there we go. Could be a Justin Snaith exactor. Let's trot along to the other Grade 1. Of course, it is the main Chance Farms Majorca Stakes. Race number 7 on the card gets underway at 3:20. World Sports Betting also giving some boosts on these runners in the race. Again, we're going to turn the betting boards upside down. We're not going to go as in-depth this time around, but we are going to test the waters and see what World Sports Betting have got for us. Let's start with number 5 on the card. This is Rockapina, the biggest outsider in the race. JP Funamava takes her out for Candice Bass. Good filly on her day. Stephen?
First boost 75 to 1.
Yeah.
Second boost 70 to 1.
Okay, so 75 to 1 about number 5, Rockapina. Justin, just a quick word from you, biggest outsider in the main Chance Farms Majorca. Will she get the trip?
I know the family very well. Probably not, no.
Okay, so 75 to 1 for those who want to take advantage of the next 2.5 minutes about number 5 on the card, Rockapina. Of course, there is that second boost that will transfer once the 3 minutes are up. Let's go on to the second biggest outsider in the race, and this will be over the page. It's number 14, Kinda Wonderful. Drawn out deep, Callan Murray takes her out for Eric Sands. Stephen?
33 to 1. Second boost 30 to 1.
So 33 to 1, number 14, Kinda Wonderful. Got the worst of the draws, Pierre, over a mile.
Yeah, tough task. I think that's why she's at price.
Any prayer, Steve? Shrewd yard?
Going to be hard.
Good filly on her day. She did win her last start when beating Get Impressed, and not too far behind Granted and Underdone. Double Grand Slam at her penultimate. Let's go on to number 6, Mia Moo. How's she going to go over a mile? Of course, Calvin Habib takes her out for Sean Tarry. She's been this trip once before. She didn't rip up any trees. However, the last run is clearly not her chop. Stephen?
33 to 1.
Yeah.
And second boost 30 to 1.
Okay, so there we go, 33 to 1. The latest about number 6, Mia Moo. Pierre, you've ridden her before. You've won her before. In a sprint, she ever give you the feel that a mile could be within her range?
Yeah, in fact, a year ago, Met Day, I rode over 1200 here, and she actually struggled with a bit of early speed. And she came on very late on the scene, and I actually felt like she needs a bit of ground. Then she started sprinting, and she won. So maybe she can still see it, but she's got a little soundness issues, and that could be a little problem if there's no rain. And I don't think there's going to be any rain.
It's not going to be
No,
rain.
it's going to be warm. It's going to be warm on Saturday.
Warm and firm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that might
So the
come.
sentiment is that we actually own the source.
Yes.
And so our sentiments are, please God, she wins, because we want to see her do well. I just think she'll battle. She doesn't. Actually, didn't enjoy Cape Town last year, and that last run was, I don't know what happened there.
There are not many Grade 1 winners in this field. It's a great field, but she is one of them. I wouldn't take her lightly. Number 7, Scarlett McCaw. She always punches above her weight. Serena Moodley takes her out for Candice Bass. What are World Sports Betting offering on the boost, Steve?
33 to 1. Second boost 30 to 1.
Okay, so 33 to 1 is the current boost about Scarlett McCaw. Justin, you've seen her in and around your fillies. Grade 1 filly, though? I mean, she's run places at Grade 1 level, but...
No, not this race. Yeah, normally in some other race somewhere else, not this race.
Frida Cup type of horse, maybe.
Absolutely. Perfect race for that type of division. These fillies are good. They're very good.
Okay, let's now go on to last year's winner of the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas. What's happened here with number 4, Fatal Flaw? Before we pick Pierre's brain, who of course won the Grade 1 on her, Stephen, what are you offering?
33 to 1. Second boost 30 to 1.
Okay, so same again with the first boost about. Number 4, Fatal Flaw. Gavin Larena takes her out. Pierre, you played them on the break when winning the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas just over 12 months ago, but she's lost her way. Where's she at? I mean, is she good enough? Was that a fluke? Is she good enough to do it again?
No, she's good enough to do it. Her problem is that she takes hold of the bit and she starts going. And she doesn't want to take a left-hand turn. So a year later, so she might have learned how to do it. I rode her again in the Durban season, and she took hold of the bit, but this time I had no control of her. Where Kenilworth, she sort of, it was the first start here, got sort of lost, didn't know what's going on, didn't turn well, but she was more relaxed, and she skipped away and won the race. So there's ability there, and before the last few runs have been over 1,200. So there's some excuses. This filly could be a bit of value here.
She is a 2-time Grade 1 winner. She won the Empress Club at Turfentine under Gavin Larena, who's 1 from 1 on this daughter of New Predator. So of the 33-1 boosted horses, she could be the most interesting. Stephen, could you see her popping up?
I could. I mean, she's a Group 1 winner. She must have a small chance, but she's taking on proper racehorses here.
Not much time to take advantage of that 33-1 about Fatal Flaw. Number 1, Kirkenhoff. This filly is a very interesting runner. She's one of a couple 3-year-olds or 4 3-year-olds in the race. Craig Zaki takes her out for Dean Canamere. She runs like she's going to extend over further. Maybe the Will Avington could be the race down and KZN for her. But Justin, from thinking not much of the 3-year-old fillies, you threw a spanner on the works in the Lomaral Kings Plate Day with Wishlist and Gimme What I Want winning feature races for 3-year-old fillies. So maybe they're not too bad.
I never saw that coming, I must be honest. Listen, Wishlist I've always liked. I think she's a very nice filly. I thought the pace of the race suited her. I think Andrew had Sean Veal on speed dial, literally, and set a cracking pace there. That didn't suit my main filly. So they worked that one out well. So, but no. The 3-year-old fillies are going to battle here, in my opinion, except for Repetite. She's not a bad filly. I think she's the pick of the 3-year-old fillies. But you're taking on double Grand Slam. Good luck.
Stephen, let's just quickly confirm the boost about number 1, Kirkenhoff.
33-1. Second boost, 30-1.
So another 33-1 shot. You guys are betting at quite a percentage for these 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
Can she give them something to think about?
I liked the Guineas run, okay, where she came from. But like Justin says, it's going to be hard for the 3-year-olds.
All right, let's go on to number 11, Minogue. This is trained by my wife and sister-in-law, Candice and Tammy Dawson. Muziani takes her on as daughter of Vercingetrix. What price are we taking here, Steve?
30-1. Second boost, 28-1.
Okay, so this is what I can tell you about number 11, Minogue. She stayed over after her run in the Cartier Paddock Stakes, where she was anything but disgraced, running 2 lengths behind Wishlist. Always thought that was going to be the end of her range, 1,800 metres. She stuck around with Michelle Ricks under the expert eye at Milnerton and led to believe that she's doing very nicely back at home. Let's see how she goes at this very high Grade 1 level. If you'd thought before the summer season had started that she would have gone as well as she has, Muziani gets a tune out of her. I think her way has probably been dropped in and asked to make up a lot of ground. She moved up quite nicely here in the Paddock Stakes over the last 200 metres until either very, very good fillies got the better of her, or she probably maybe ran out of petrol over the closing stages. Optimistic that she can get into the hunt yet again. Don't think she'll be disgraced. Might as well get an opinion from Striker. Am I barking up the wrong tree? Can she get into the top 4?
I think you've got a spot on. That's not more I can tell you.
Well, there we go. That's the feeling about number 11.
Thinking about the trainer.
Top trainer. So there's number 11, Minogue. 30-1 is the price that you got for the next couple of minutes about the daughter of Vercingetrix. Let's now go on to number 9, Asia Pambile. Sean Veal on the Woodruff, the nearly girl of South African racing. She's pressed the Grade 1s, but just failed to get the job done. Stephen, what price?
22-1. Second boost, 20-1.
Can she pick up this Grade 1, or are there other Grade 1s more to her liking here, Steve?
So my feeling is that she ran second to Mia Moore at Scottsville in that Group 1. It was heads up, heads down. She's going the mile. She's had 3 cracks at the course and the distance, and she's run unplaced. I think if this was a 1200, that last run to King Dundee was, at the top draw. I think she'll battle.
Did you ride her once upon a time, Pierre?
Yeah.
Yes.
I rode her before over a bit of distance, and it felt like she had too much speed. And then I rode her actually down the straight as well. She ran quite a good race, but she just seemed to lack the 1,000-meter speed. But she seems to have changed. She seems to have improved. She's got a big filly. So, you know, I just feel a bigger horse takes longer to grow into the frame. And but I suppose 1600s, she's proven that she doesn't do it, and I'm going to stick to that.
Might as well have a crack, though, if you are going to try and take on a grade 1. Let's go now on to number 13. This is Gimme What I Want. Rene Pichuluk takes her out for Justin Snaith. Stephen, let's get the extended price.
18 to 1. Second boost, 16 to 1.
Okay, so 18 to 1 current price about number 13. Gimme What I Want on World Sports Betting. Justin, how, as training feats go, and you think of Dean Canamea, the Real Prince, Hollywood Bets, Durban, July, there have been a number that we can put our finger on in the last decade, but this perhaps at least a less appreciated training feat, dropping her back to 1,200 meters and getting to win the scepter at that type of level and that type of style. Well played.
No, thank you.
There's nothing about her that says 1,200 meters when you look at her and her breeding.
Look, she's got a lot of natural speed at home. She really does. She's very impressive at home. She's a beautiful looking filly, very well bred. And I find the gimme fillies have got a lot of speed. I don't find the gimme fillies going too much past a mile. I thought it was the ride of the month, to be honest. I thought everything went away for Andrew. Great ride, got up on the line when it counted, and a sneaky 1 kilo from the horse that ran second. I mean, I thought that was a bit certainly good for me, but I think it was a 2 kilo or kilo and a half we gave
2 kilos.
We got from the second horse, which maybe helped us in the result. I don't like the draw here whatsoever. I do not like the 13 draw. This was never really my plan to run her here. The thought is that we're going to take our chances with her in a Group 1, and I think what we'll learn here is, does she get the mile or not? But from that draw, she will have to be dropped out to just about to the back of the field. It's the only chance you got from that draw, especially, and a lot of these fillies, they're going from 1,200 to a mile. They're going to tank. It's a different race. So I just want her to settle. That's going to be the main play here, and see how she runs on.
Half-sister won a stakes race over 3,200 meters. Train the horse, not the breeding.
No, exactly. Absolutely.
All right, let's go on to number 2, Mon Petite Cherie. James Crawford got an interesting hand here with these two Ridgemont runners. Richard Ferrie's taking the ride on Mon Petite Cherie. Interesting. I spoke to James at Hollywood Bets Durbanville during the week, and Richard's solid in his analysis here with Mon Petite Cherie. So, Stephen, for those that are Richard Ferrie followers, of which there are many, what are we doing for the next 3 minutes?
13 to 1. Huge price. Second boost, 12 to 1.
Can you have it, Steve?
I can. Purely because Richard chose it. I mean, he could have ridden the other one, and he's gone for this. So, I mean, she's got to be a runner.
There's a free tip from Richard.
Absolutely.
How much do we read into that, Pierre? I mean, you've got many rights in your years. You got the odd one wrong.
Many are wrong. But I think he's gone for the safer option here. It's a 3-year-old filly or the older horse. I think Justin's maybe right. The 3-year-old fillies have to improve to beat Double Grand Slam or this filly. I think a double Grand Slam gets beat. It could be about this filly, Mon Petite Cherie. She's drawn well. Last time was a 1,200. I tipped it to win, but obviously the 1,200 is probably a little bit on the sharp side for her. And so this race is more upper alley.
Okay, let's go on to number 8, Rainbow Lorikeet. Elder de Meyer on board for Candice Bass. This filly's a real soldier. Evergreen, nearly 1.4 million rand earned. Stephen, what price are we taking about Rainbow Lorikeet at the moment?
Also 13 to 1 and 12 to 1 the second boost.
Justin, she's always given Double Grand Slam a headache, hasn't she?
Not at all. No. No. I'm surprised to not see her in the 2,000 on the day. I think that is the perfect race. She would have been 8 to 10, and she would have been a massive runner there. Here, yes, maybe for a place chance, maybe. Back to a mile. Yeah, as I said, maybe a small place chance.
Stephen, are you in the same boat? Do you think she's over 1,600? They're just better horses. The further, the better for her.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard. It could be double Grand Slam on the day. But like Justin says, she can run in the top 4.
Okay, let's go on to number 12, Quick Step Girl. Keegan DeMello takes her out for Tinny Princely. One of the fairy tale stories of 2025. She won the World Sports winning Cape Fillies Guineas from start to finish. She's back over the same course and distance. Stephen, number 12, Quick Step Girl.
10 to 1, and second boost 9 to 1.
So 10 to 1, that's the price that she won her grade 1 at when she beat Reet Petite. Pierre, I'm going to come to you. Without much pace in the race, could she have a picnic up in front to steal it again?
She could, but I think it'll be harder this time. I think everyone's going to probably press for a bit of position. She overcame a draw very easily, and Gavin seemed to slow the pace down quite a bit. So I think everything played in her favour when she won. I'm talking about a second last start. She's probably not going to get it the same way. So no, I think it's going to be a bit harder for her to win this.
Are you in the same boat, Justin?
Yes, like Andrew's ride on Give Me What I Want, I thought this was Gavin's best ride of the season on this filly. I mean, he cantered down to the start with its head in his chest. And he rode it like that in the race. Yeah. Had its head in the chest around the turn. It looked like he was doing a canter pass. And so on the basis of that, you would think that Reet Petite should have the measure of her, because she's not going to have it. She has to come over from that draw, and it might just, it could end badly for her. She's going to need a lot of luck, but take nothing away from what she's done, and I think she's a lovely filly. I just do tip that, like I'm going to have with my filly from a 13-14 draw, I'm taking the poison, we're dropping out. She has no choice but to do the opposite, and it's just whether she has a bit of luck.
Okay, let's go on to the second favourite. This is number 3 on the card. Reet Petite. Gareth Wright takes her out for James Crawford. Fabulous filly. She made that huge step from Class 4 into Grade 1 level, and she's run second and second. Stephen, what price are you offering?
8 to 1. Big
8 to
price.
1 about the second favourite. Yeah.
And the second boost 7 to 1.
Okay, so only a point lower for that second boost if you do miss the next 3 minutes. Pierre, I'm going to kick off with you with number 3, Reet Petite. I think of the 3-year-olds, she's the luckiest to get the run of the race, but can she knock over one of the best fillies we've seen in the last 5 years or so?
Well, like you mentioned now, you said as a 3-year-old, she's probably the best of the lot, but is she good enough to beat the old horses? And the fact that Richard Ferree chose another horse, you know, you've got to start doubting that she's good enough. I mean, they're young horses, they can improve, but is she good enough to beat Double Grand Slam or Mon Petit Cherie? I think they're slightly below the old horses.
Steve, are you a bit weary of her? Can you see her getting into the number 1 box or running yet another big race and defeat?
Well, listen, I mean, she's got the form. You know, I mean, she's done nothing wrong. But whether she can beat Double Grand Slam, all the race is going to tell, I suppose.
Well, let's move on to the favourite. Let's get it from the horse's mouth. First and foremost, though, Double Grand Slam, number 10 on the card. Andrew Fortune takes her out, multiple Grade 1 winner. What price?
22 to 10. Second boost 2 to 1.
22 to 10. About Double Grand Slam. I don't want to remind Justin that she got rolled in this race last year, but she made amends a number of times since. Have you had her at her absolute best this summer thus far? I know she had a win. She ran 4th in the Cartier Paddock Stakes, but is she now bursting at the seams?
Because she got beat last time, everyone thinks they can beat her this time. Good luck.
Is this the best you've had her?
Absolutely. 22 to 10. That won't start 22
Better
to
than
10.
what you had her in Gelado when she won the Ridgemont Garden Province?
For sure. For sure. Filly's ready. Ready.
Okay, so of your 40-odd runners, is this your best of the day?
I'd say probably her and the 3-year-old in the politician.
Native Ruler Randall. I mean, Happy Verse or Randall first?
Happy Verse. I think those are going to be my 2 best. This filly, I just love her. I don't want to know about her getting beat. She's I'm in awe of this filly. every morning at track and I just think she's just that good. Last time out, the pace was blistering fast. She was exposed a little bit early. Ocean just came back and said, "I'm sorry, I got the Franco of South African racing beat." I said, "No, you didn't get it beat. These things happen." But she's come on from that run. She's in a very, very good space. Yeah, as I said, take a lot of beating.
Pierre, does she tick every box here?
Ability-wise, yes. My concern is the draw. What's Andrew going to do from there? And why I'm saying that, there's only 2 horses that possibly can go to the front. Quick Step Gal, who last time, well, second last start when she won around the bend, went to the front, and was pulled back. And the only other horse is Fatal Flaw. Now, Fatal Flaw, she naturally wants to go, but you're always trying to hold her back because she's overdoing it. So will there be a lot of pace? And what's Andrew going to do? If they go fast, then the field stretches out, you can get a position in and you can run on at them. If they go slow and you get caught wide, how do you get in? Where do you get in? Do you go more forward and still wide, or do you pull further back where you want to be and still wide? Or are you giving too much start? That's my concern about it. The draw 10 is with not genuine speed in the race. That's my worry. But ability-wise, yes.
Stephen, we don't have too much time to take the 22 to 10. After all that, you prepared to take a backward step, or is 22 to 10 out there for everyone to freely get involved?
22 to 10 is out there, and obviously the second boost is 2 to 1.
Does she tick every box for you? If you're playing your pick 6, and I know this is the World Sports Betting Show, but if you're playing your pick 6, is she the one that you ring up in the pen?
Well, she's got to beat the natural bank on the day because, I mean, she's done it all. But like Pierre says, drawn 10, pace on. But if you're listening to Justin, okay, you're backing her and you're bankering her and you're putting the house on her. So
yeah, well, listen, what Pierre says, I mean, that's why Pierre wrote 5,000 winners. He's completely, absolutely correct. The good thing is Andrew's not riding against Pierre, and we might have a chance here.
Okay, so that's the synopsis about Double Grand Slam. That's the synopsis of the 2 Grade 1s on this fabulous 12-race card of the World Sports Betting Cape Town. But just before we go, Stephen got hold of the 3 of us, and obviously he's participating as well, and said, come up with a value bet on World Sports Betting Cape Town, mate. So let's go through it one at a time. The first value bet comes up in race number 3. I believe this is Pierre Stradham's value bet, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? So, Stephen?
Yes, it is. Magic Verse.
Oh, my.
Yeah. The reason why I'm going for...
Wait, just hold that thought. What price is Magic Verse and what price is he going to be for 3 minutes?
he's 3 to 1 right now.
Yes.
For the next 3 minutes, we're going 15 or 4,
Yeah.
and thereafter 7 or 2.
Okay, so that's the story about number 2, Magic Verse. All right, now give your reasoning, Pierre.
All right, so I know 3 to 1 or the stretch doesn't sound like value, but this race to me looks like a 2-horse race. It's either Magic Verse or the horse that beat him last time, Holding Thumbs. He's better off at the weights than Holding Thumbs. Holding Thumbs is favourite, and this is second favourite. But Magic Verse is better off at the weights. And Magic Verse is drawn 2,800 metres. They jump away very close to the bend here. So I think he could get a very nice position where Holding Thumbs has got the widest of draw. It's not a big field, but he's got the widest of draw. He's still got to either work around a little bit or he's got to pull back a little bit, where Magic Verse is probably going to get the run of the race, and I think that is value because it's a 2-horse race. I'm saying he only has to beat 1 horse.
You know what's amazing, Justin, is all the times I've heard Pierre Stradham give winning interviews. If he was riding Magic Verse, he would have put the fear of God into everyone, given 100 reasons why it can't win. That's the most confident I've ever heard him about a horse and not even riding it.
No, don't worry. Pierre's ridden for me in some Group 1s, and I'd seen him on panels saying that he can't win because of this handicapping and this thing, and he's working. I say, hey, Pierre.
It's come on early in the end, hasn't
Don't worry about the statistics and stuff. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Is he on the right horse there?
It's a tough race. Yes, because the first time he's gone the distance, he ran a cracker, and he actually ran in the July Consolation, which was over 2-2, with 62 kilos on his back, I think, and went down a half a length. I mean, that's a hell of a run. So, yes, could be the horse, but I just get the feeling there's another horse there ahead of the Fax that's coming right at the right time, and he could be a danger there as well. But so far, Glenn's horse has been quite hard to beat at this stage, and he's quite well off with the rest of the field here. But tough race, and yeah, for sure, Majorca, why not?
And also a big shout out to all the sponsors on the day. That, of course, sponsored by New Turf Carriers, and appropriate that they sponsor the long distance race of the day, considering all the long distance travel that they do between centres. So Majorca is 15-4 for the next 90 seconds or so. Right, let's go on to the second boosted. Yes?
Sorry.
Right. The second boosted value bet comes courtesy of race number 5. And this is Stephen Carroll's play.
So I like Sergio. We're betting 18-1 for the next 3 minutes, 25-1, and thereafter 22-1.
Okay. Well, where's your phone? Oh, that's next to you. You're going to get on it the moment I finish talking to you.
I've already sent the message.
Yes.
That when the boost comes on, to take the 25-1.
Why do you like him?
Well, I think he's taken on the best. I know that he's a 7-year-old. I love that run behind King Dundee. He got into all the traffic problems in the world. And at the price, I think he's great value.
Pierre, you got any opinion on Sergio?
Yes, I actually tipped him last time, and obviously didn't expect him to find interference. He's one of the better handicapped horses in the field, and the two horses that are handicapped better than him, one of them is Lucky Lad, and it's completely off form. So when you start eliminating those better handicapped horses, he pops up. So I agree, huge runner.
Okay, 25-1. So that will set up your day perfectly if Sergio were to arrive in the Winchester Sprint Cup. That's race number 5 on the card. Now the third value bet from the panel comes from yours truly. It's in the Windhoek Olympic Dual Stakes, a listed feature over 1,200 metres, race number 10. And I've gone with number 2, Princess of Gaul. And as I walked in, Stephen and Pierre said, well, how can you go with a horse so short in the market? Well, I'll tell you why in a moment. But what are you doing, Steve?
So we're currently betting 5-1. First boost 6.5-1. Second boost 6-1.
Okay,
Big price.
Yeah, take advantage of the 13-2. First of all, she's a half sister to King Dundee, who won the World Pool Cape Flying Championship here on Lamara King's Plate Day. Now, added to that, if you consider King Dundee has now very much risen himself as being one of the elite sprinters of the country. This horse coming back to 1,200 metres last time, where I don't think she was disgraced. Again, I think from an outside draw, and Justin was talking about that down the straight a few times during the summer, the outside draws, the high-numbered draws are not necessarily ideal. She's now got a draw towards the inside. I liked her runs at the highest level. This is the calmest waters that she's been in this summer, and I think with 58 kilos from a very shrewd yard under the current leading jockey of the country, number 2, Princess of Gaul, still represents a lot of value. There are a lot of handicappers who are very much in their place in this race. I think that she's got a lot more to come. I mean, when you have a look at the form of the likes of Damatrix, Wild Applause, Be Merry, although that you cannot necessarily fault them, Babylicious as well, I think that they're pretty much in their place, and I think that Princess of Gaul is climbing the ladder and is going to climb the ladder as time goes on. Am I mad, Justin?
No, I with 2 draws, certainly, yes. I've got a funny feeling that the one horse of mine there that will do a bit of a turnaround will be Mary, with Andrew Fortune on.
All right, well, there we go. Got more than we bargained for on this World Sports Betting card call. Let's go on to the final one, and this comes up in race number 11. Stephen, Justin Snaith's plan. We'll get his opinion in just a moment. Who is in what price?
So Justin went for Queen Regent. His current price is 7-1. The boost is 9-1. Second boost 8-1.
Okay, Justin, why?
What you could do, the gallops were recorded. You can put the gallop on for the public. She galloped with Schwartek, giving her weight in the gallop, and put in an unbelievable workout. And in the race, she's carrying 50. Drawn 1. There is obviously, she hasn't been the distance, but every time JP rode her, he kept saying, please put over further, please put over further. Horses like Rainbow Lorikeet have decided to go for other races. The race for me is not quite as strong as it could be. And with 50 kilos, 1 draw, Muzieni could be the lurker.
Anyone more dangerous than Muzi or 50, Pierre?
Well, yeah, to carry 50 is like a featherweight. Yeah. Drawn 1, a lot in her favour. And obviously Justin knows 3-year-old, his scope, she's improving. She's out at the weight, so I'm rather going to go Justin's opinion.
Just on the gallop as well, Pierre. Jeez, the gallop was good. Wow. It was one of the impressive gallops of the day.
So she's obviously below the merit, and she's up.
But wow, the gallop was good.
Those gallops are, of course, on the Gallop TV website. You can get them there. And also, roughly 30 previous World Sports Betting Cape Town Met replays. That is pretty much a wrap. Don't forget about the 20% deposit bonus of all deposits up to 200,000 Rand. And also the segment where World Sports Betting are giving a share of a lot of money if you predict the first 6 in order. Just to give you the heads up, a share of R1 million if you were to tip the top 6 in order for the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. Justin, thank you so much for your time. I know Sunday's Family Day, big week ahead. Hard to see the family this week. I know next Sunday will probably be a good one for you back at home, but thank you so much for your time. All the best for Saturday, and well, thank you for all the great memories, and may there be many more this Saturday.
Thank you very much, and to World Sports Betting for sponsoring and everything they're doing here. Really appreciate it, and I hope those that have watched this show go and make a living fortune.
Yeah, nice big week ahead now that you're one of World Sports Betting ambassadors. Nice that you've got some big names, Kevin Lorena and Kanan Moody and all sorts of other big guys, Casper Njorvis, rubbing shoulders with you, not the other way around.
Yeah, hanging out with the big boys. Just must repeat that World Sports Betting apparently gives the best odds, and now you're getting even more. So don't forget, the more you put, the more you'll get.
That's not scripted at all. Steve, thank you so much for, again, World Sports Betting sponsorship. To everyone back in the office, give our very best, and we'll see you all on Saturday.
Cheers, thanks so much. And thank you again to Justin and to Pierre and obviously to yourself for being here on a Sunday evening. And I hope everybody smashes them.
Big week ahead for you guys. I know that big road show, lots of panels, lots of guests, and inviting all your guests on Saturday.
Yeah, so on Thursday, Pierre and myself are doing our podcast with the one and only Andrew Fortune. God help us. So we're doing it, like we're pre-recording on Wednesday, and hopefully we'll have it out on Wednesday afternoon.
Okay, brilliant. Well, all that leaves for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you're taking advantage of all the generous boosts from World Sports Betting. But more than that, we'll see you here on Saturday for a Symphony of Style. Get onto CompuTicket, book your tickets, come and have the time of your lives here at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth for what is going to be a memorable 2026 World Sports Betting. You know the good thing is when you walk off the racetrack on these big marquee days, you wake up the next morning and you talk about it for a long, long time. Remember what happened at the races. We'll see you then. Thanks so much for watching. Good night. Oriental Charm Rascallion, 8 on 18. Ace.